Good morning to all of you. My name is Dr. Jitendra Balachandra Kandle, and today we will be discussing on a very important subject in pharmacy, that is pharmacognosy. Friends, it has been observed that there are four important pillars as far as pharmaceutical sciences are concerned. One is pharmaceutics, pharmacology, pharmacochemistry, and pharmacognosy. Pharmacognosy is a branch of pharmaceutical sciences which deals with the study of crude drugs. Along with the study of crude drug, it also deals with the process of extraction of crude drug and isolation of active constituent from the crude drug. So, in a nutshell, pharmacognosy deals with all the aspects of crude drugs right from form till the formulation of a particular crude drug. For academic purpose, pharmacognosy can be defined as a study of crude drug, which includes morphological study, microscopical study, physical characterization study, chemical characteristics, and biological characteristics study of crude drug, along with the processes of extraction and isolation of active constituent from the crude drug. So, when a student studies pharmacognosy, it is there in the back of the mind of that student that in pharmacognosy he has to deal with only the biological source, chemical constituents, and uses of that crude drug. And in this assumption, a particular pharmacy graduates only mugs up the biological source, chemical constituent, and uses of a crude drug. And after completion of his graduation, he has only a superficial knowledge about the pharmacognosy. But pharmacognosy comprises of herbal cosmetics, which is a emerging branch. It also comprises herbal nutraceutical, which is developing with a great speed. Pharmacognosy comprises the newer techniques which are utilized for development of different varieties of plant which yields maximum yield of active constituents. Not also this, pharmacognosy also comprises the pharmacovigilance which is required for herbal drugs. So, one should understand that pharmacognosy is a collective term where one can study various aspects about the formulation development of a particular crude drug till it goes to the hands of patient. After that, it completes its pharmacovigilance. And not only crude drugs but herbal cosmetics, herbal nutraceuticals are emerging as new trendsetters as far as medicine is concerned. Along with this, there is a important branch of pharmacognosy where the crude drugs which have been used in various traditional systems of medicines are used like Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, and homeopathy. This branch is also gaining important as various lifestyle diseases are increasing in a speed which has created an alarm in the mindset of policymakers. So, all these aspects should be considered when a particular student is taking a course of pharmacognosy in pharmaceutical sciences spectrum. Herbal cosmetics has become a billion-dollar industry in the last century, and India is a global leader in providing those herbal cosmetics for domestic market as well as the world market. Herbal nutraceutical has also become a big buzzword in this era of modern medicine as nutraceuticals play, play a major role in prevention of diseases rather than controlling the diseases. And most of these nutraceuticals they belongs to natural origin. Along with this, the new branch of galenical pharmacy which deals with the extraction, isolation, and characterization of active constituent from crude drug has also gaining an important place for the development of new drug in the treatment of chronic diseases. After knowing this vast spectrum of pharmacognosy, now we will understand what actually is the content which are practiced in the subject of pharmacognosy. In this subject of pharmacognosy, there is a study of morphological, microscopical, physical, chemical, and biological properties of crude drugs are studied. Morphological property of crude drug it includes color, odor, taste, size, and shape. These parameters will help in primary identification of a particular crude drug. If there are crude drugs which are similar morphologically, then one has to go for microscopical study of that particular crude drug so that two drugs or two different species from one genus of a plant, if they are resembling morphologically, microscopic will help to identify the correct species from these two. And microscopy is also helps in qualitative and quantitative study of the active constituent which are present in the crude drug. Physical properties of crude drug it includes moisture content, refractive index, optical rotation, viscosity, extractive value, ash value. All these parameters are required for finding out adulteration and correct identification of crude drugs. In chemical properties, one has to look after the identification of chemical nature of a particular compound which is present in the crude drug, and accordingly, if the chemical composition is established, one can go for isolation technology of that particular isolated chemical entity. In establishing biological properties, one has to go for performing the pharmacological studies on animals, on human beings. Nowadays, we call them as preclinical and clinical trials. Along with this, a student of pharmacognosy has to study various techniques which are involved in the extraction and isolation of active constituent from crude drug. As thousands of various plant varieties and crude drugs from animal and origin mineral origin are available for study, it is a very important part to establish proper methods for extraction and isolation of crude drug, as some crude drugs are unique and which require a unique method for the isolation and extraction technology. So, pharmacognosy comprises overall study of physical, chemical, biological properties along with morphological and microscopical properties with extraction and isolation technologies for isolation of active constituent from crude drug. A student of pharmacognosy has to understand that in pharmacognosy, one has to be a student who knows botany, medicinal chemistry, quality assurance technology, genetics, extraction and isolation technology, chromatography, spectroscopy, so that he will be able to study the crude drugs and convert them into a suitable medicine. So, pharmacognosy is a bridge or a link in between various branches of pharmacy as well as science. It is a link in between botany, microbiology, genetics, quality assurance technology, pharmacology, and various related fields. One has to develop a interdisciplinary approach while studying pharmacognosy as a subject. Due to the advancement in last 20 years in the technologies which are used for chromatography and spectroscopy. Nowadays, it has become easier to isolate a chemical entity from a crude drug. Once a chemical entity is isolated, the further study will comprise of study of its pharmacological action and development of that chemical entity into a suitable formulation. So, pharmacognosy has reached to a new layer where not only the basic and applied sciences are required, along with that, a interdisciplinary approach will help for development of newer and newer molecule for treatment of various diseases. In the coming lectures, we will discuss in detail about the whole syllabus of this subject in detail. Thank you.